Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with next in Electric Adventures the games, where I'm going over the games that I wrote back in my early programming career in the early 80s for my original Spectravideo computers. So I started out on a 318, later on upgraded to a 3 to 8, and then got MSX one, which was the 7 to 8. So I converted most of my titles across to MSX as well. So we're on program pack 11. And the third title, which is Leaky Roof. Now this is another one of the games that I was heavily inspired from a Game & Watch game. So a simple one to pad out the program pack. Okay, so a bit of a white theme with this one. Right, so we have our bucket, nice big sprites. We have to grab the drips, and our bucket fills up as we grab each strip, and we've got to tick it out the window. It doesn't allow a lot of time between drops. So it keeps the pressure on. Oh, I'm not sure I'm going to make that one. Oh, no. So we don't want our water level to max out. You don't have to fill the bucket up all the way before you empty it either. Oh, missed that one. So it's a pretty hard game. It's quite an interesting one though. Not going to make that one. Oh, bucket. Oh, missed. No, I missed again. And if you haven't noticed, the drops are getting faster. Oh, just another one. I just made that one. Pretty challenging to beat the high score too. Just made it. Now leak's out of control now. So there is random spacing between the drops as well. This is a good use of nice big sprites. Make things clear. Ah. Oh, missed another one. And missed another one. My room would be filling up. Missed another one. Getting near impossible now. No, no. Yeah. We've got long to go now. beaten high score though. So. No, he's deep. He's deep. Oh, there we go, filled up. So, not a bad game, that one. Oh, it's detected a game start on me. It's a fun little game, nice and hard. So let's restart and have a look at our source code. Okay, back, got the source code. Let's see how long it is first. Good idea of putting glasses on. So it's only 25 lines long, and that data at the end is going to be our sprite shapes. So from 200 to 250 are our sprite shapes. So they'd be the various parts of the bucket and our large droplet. So let's list at the start of the program. So line 10 is our normal, clear a bit of memory, set our standard colour screen mode, make all our variables integers and define our random functions and open our handle to the graphics screen. Line 20, set slightly different colours. Now also notice the three figures, the third figure is actually the border colour. Screen comma 3, basically we're changing the size of the sprites that we're allowing, so that's making them in the double size sprites. We make our L variable single precision, so we can have a decimal place, and we have a little array, 4, those are going to be our 4 drops, I'd say. We set our high score and we restore our data to the start. Line 30 draws our title screen. We clear the screen and we use the draw command to actually move to a point on the screen instead of using the pset command. Set a colour, put our title into a variable, and then, oh yeah, sorry, not a title in a variable, so we print our title on screen and then we read our sprite shapes in. Then we set a draw point again and then we press the press any key. So that's why you've got a bit of time between when the title appears and when press any key arrives, because it's loading all of the data for our sprites. Then it waits for us to press any key, so it's got an input statement there. So a very simple program. Line 40 clears the screen again, sets our score. I suppose W is, I stand for wave. And we draw our actual environment and our scoring area up the top. Very compressed code, this one. Line 50 puts the high score up and the water level text, draws a few more boxes, and the for loop there will draw our little nicks out of the top where our water is going to drop from. Right, line 60 we set the X position of our main sprite, we put it on the screen, and our bucket is made up of 2 sprites. That's how we get it multicoloured. And then we clear out our array of 4 things, which is our active drops. And line 70, we get the direction of the joystick from either the keyboard or the first joystick port. If A equals 3, then we're going to move to the right. So all we do is we change the 2x coordinates of the bucket and make sure that we haven't gone too far to the right. Although if we have reached the right and there is something in our bucket, that's what B indicates, how many things are in a bucket, then for each one of those we enter our score, and then we call a little routine at 180, which I would say would be our sound for each of the drops we're letting go. And then we clear out the inside of the bucket, which is probably our different shapes of the inside of the bucket. And go sub 140 probably displays something else on the screen, probably puts our score on the screen. Line 80 does the same thing except for moving left. So it's all exactly the same except we're moving left, and we handle emptying our bucket out the left-hand window. So at line 90, we loop round each of our potential drops. If there's 0 and if a random number between 1 and 10 is 1, then we go and put the drop on screen at one of the random spots that are available up top. So there's only ever one drop coming down at a particular level, so we can just choose whichever one we want to come out of. And I'd say BB is our delay before we want the next drop to come out. So BB equals 15 minus L, which is our current level. We set the particular one, the sprite that we're using. We've got 4 that we can have in motion at once, to 1, so we don't use it again. Otherwise we jump to 120. So 100 to 1. So we've had the old thing my keyboard does when I'm doing these demos. So line 100, we go and get the Y coordinate of a particular drop. If it's larger than 90, it's got to reach a certain way down the screen. Then we go and have a look at the X coordinate. So we want to see how far it is across left and right. Okay, so we make the drop disappear because it's going to either disappear into the bucket or it's going to hit the floor. And then we compare it to our X coordinates of our bucket. But we also make sure that the bucket's not already full. And then we... so if that's not true, we've missed the bucket, we go and increase our water level and display it on the screen. Else, we increase the level in our bucket. And we change the shape of our bucket so that it looks like it's fuller. And increase our score and our level, and that's where we use the single precision number just to increase the level just by a little bit each time we catch one, and go so to display our score. And line 110 we update the Y position of the current drop, and line 120 is the end of the next loop. And then with our little timer of BB, which is our spacing in between the drops, we decrease that by 1, so that way we don't have all of the drops coming down at once. Line 130 is actually the end of our main loop, so we go back to 70. So this is our first subroutine at line 140, and that prints our score and returns. Line 150 does our water level and detects our game over. Line 160 is continuing on, putting game over on the screen, popping our score up, seeing if it's higher than the high score and updating the high score. Line 170, just a bit of a delay, restore our data back and go back to 30, reboot the game. A little addition would probably be good on the actual main screen to show the high score as well. Line 180 is a subroutine to output some sound. So it's displaying one of our drop sounds. Line 190 is doing a different sound, and 200 starts our data. So it's actually a very short, simple program that is a fun little game, has some quite good looking graphics as far as presentation is concerned, and was a nice, popular addition to that program pack. That program pack was program pack 11 was one of my higher selling ones as well, probably because of the Missile Command game, but the extra 2 games of Mastermind and this one, Leaky Roof, obviously made it a pretty good deal. Alright, on to Program Pack 12, which I need to find a copy of so I can show you the physical thing. Alright, I'm Electric Adventures, thanks to all my subscribers, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.